The school's flag flies at half-staff in memory of a popular high school soccer player. Collapsed during a game last night, and tonight officials are searching for a cause of the death. Hello again, I'm Mark Sapelsa.
And I'm Marion Brooks. Tonight, students and school staff mourn 14-year-old Amanda Makel's death. She died during a soccer game last night, as Mark mentioned, at Hinsdale South High School. NBC 5's Charlie Wojciechowski live now at the high school with the latest. Charlie?
Well, Marion, the DuPage County coroner is still doing the autopsy on the 14-year-old. The leading thought here, though, is that she had some kind of heart defect that did not show up on the physical she took before she enrolled this year as a freshman.
I saw Amanda like 6th or 7th period, and I just couldn't believe that it happened.
A shock for students and faculty alike at Darien's Hinsdale South High School. 14-year-old Amanda Makel collapsing and dying in the middle of a soccer game just after 7 last night.
The paramedics, our trainers, the fire department people did the best that they possibly could and ministered to her before she got in the ambulance, and did everything that could be done to have saved her.
Amanda's father was on the sidelines when she collapsed here on the lower soccer field at Hinsdale South. Paramedics were there 2 minutes later.
Talked to all the paramedics on the scene, all the firefighters on the scene. It's always tough when young people are involved. Probably the toughest ones that we have.
Tough for everyone associated with Amanda or the school. Today, grief counselors and social workers went to each of Amanda's classes and those of her older brother, Chris. A drop-in center was set up for all other students to express their grief.
To deal with the sudden death of a 14-year-old who came to school that morning perfectly healthy and whose parents had to receive her dead that night is something none of us would ever want to experience.
The apparent cause of Amanda's death, something her doctors are calling a coronary anomaly, a rare condition she likely never knew she had.
It seems to have been a congenital thing that was going to occur at one time or another. There was no evidence when she entered our school that she had any problems.
Even though I don't know that girl, but you know, it hurts for us, of course. This is part of our student, you know, it's part of our class.
In the wake of Amanda's death, Hinsdale is canceling all of its competitive sports for the rest of this week and over the weekend. They'll resume on Monday. Also next week, the school plans a remembrance service in Amanda's honor. Reporting live outside of Hinsdale South High School, Charlie Wojciechowski, NBC 5, Chicago.
All right, Charlie, thank you. A teacher at a Wheeling daycare center has been charged with molesting girls in his care. 45-year-old David M. Konofsky works at Horizons Children's Center on South Schoenbeck Road in Wheeling. Now been charged with 2 counts of predatory criminal sexual assault, 2 counts of aggravated criminal sexual abuse. Police think he's abused at least 4 girls, ages 4 and 5 years old, at the daycare center.
The school actually called us, and they had received a call from a parent that their child was uncomfortable about going to a classroom where this instructor was instructing, and that student had made an outcry to her parents about inappropriate behavior.
Immediately upon hearing the allegations, we reported the matter to the appropriate authorities in accordance with the law and suspended him pending the results of the investigation.
Lives in Des Plaines. For now, he's being held in the Cook County Jail. A grand jury will begin hearing this case next week. An elderly Chicago man's habit of falling asleep while smoking in bed may have proved deadly. A 90-year-old man, his 89-year-old wife, died when their home caught fire. That was this morning. It happened in the 3500 block of West 5th Avenue on the west side. NBC5's Kim Vadas tells us smoke detectors could have made a difference.
Without warning, the rear of this 2-story apartment house was up in flames, killing 89-year-old Charles Perry and his 83-year-old wife, Louise. This salvaged picture was taken over 40 years ago. Neighbors and family upstairs were awakened by the smoke and tried to rescue the elderly couple, but the fire was too intense.
We tried to kick the doors in since the fire wasn't in the front of the house, but we couldn't go in. It was too much smoke.
When firefighters arrived, it was too late. Louise Perry was found on a couch in the living room, Charles Perry in the kitchen, apparently overcome by the smoke while trying to put the fire out.
The only thing I was trying to do is break that window and let that smoke out because I couldn't get over the fence. The gate locked back there, and that's the only thing I could do.
Family members who did not want to speak publicly say they had always been meaning to buy smoke detectors, concerned about their grandfather smoking, but never did. And ultimately, fire officials say that's what led to this tragedy. Investigators believe careless smoking caused the fire. It started in a rear bedroom.
It's just so bad, that he had to go that way.
Really hurt to see, something like that happen.
And today, fire officials stress 80% of all deadly fires result from non-working smoke detectors. On the west side, Kim Vadas, NBC5, Chicago.
The elderly couple owned the building and had lived there for about 50 years.
A 14-year-old boy selling candy in Grant Park is attacked. Police say the suspect was a woman in her 30s who came up behind the boy and hit him in the head. She allegedly attacked. Then, that the attacker reportedly took the boy's candy, 4 full boxes, his jacket, and then $40. Police say that she fled in a blue car. Tonight, they're still looking for her. As for the boy, he was treated for head injuries and released from Northwestern Memorial Hospital. And a warning tonight about a rash of school burglaries. It's happening on the south side in an area bound by Loomis, St. Louis, 45th Street and 55th. Seward School at 46th and Hermitage was one of the targets. Police say the burglar or burglars are somehow getting into the school and then hiding until closing, or they break through open windows or doors that haven't been fully closed. Police say the suspects took computer equipment and other valuables.
He reportedly made more than $100,000 on his job, but he owed money to his children. Now a suburban father is the first person in Illinois to head to jail for failing to pay child support payments. NBC5's Phil Rogers in the newsroom with the story. Phil?
Mark, for the first time, failure to pay child support in Illinois is a felony. The law took effect last October 1st, and today, a Northwest suburban man became its first target.
If the term deadbeat doesn't mean something to certain people, and obviously there are many, then perhaps felon will.
Meet the man prosecutors say is the grand champion deadbeat dad in Cook County. The state says Robert Oravec owes more than $46,000 to his 2 teenage sons, despite the Mercedes and Jaguar in the garage of his $1,700 a month home, which sits on 5 wooded acres in suburban Killdeer.
Basically, his children are financing his lifestyle with the missed child support payments.
Oravec wasn't home when we visited his Killdeer house today, but while we were there, Killdeer police stopped by, attempting to serve a warrant for his arrest as the first person in Cook County charged as a felon for failing to pay child support.
It's been approximately 5 years at $1,000 a month.
Linda Petrush is Oravec's ex-wife.
I have to work 2 jobs to support my kids. That's been going on for about 3 years. And my boys have not only lost their father, they lost their mother in the process.
Investigators say Oravec managed to stay ahead of attempts to garnish his wages, changing jobs, and at one point even leaving the state. His ex-wife says she hopes her case will inspire other mothers to take action.
Don't ever give up, and the system will work. It's very frustrating, but you have to keep with it. You have to make a point, because I think children are important.
Now, under the new law, deadbeat parents can be charged as felons if they have the ability to provide support but willfully fail to pay for longer than 1 year, or if they are in arrears by more than $20,000. At last word, Oravec was still being sought. Live in the newsroom, Phil Rogers, NBC5, Chicago.
Thank you, Phil. Firefighters in Hickory Hills are still trying to find out how a van wound up in a retention pond early this morning. Fire crews were able to pull the van out. They called divers in for a possible rescue, but quickly realized there wasn't anybody inside. So far, no one has come forward to claim that van.
Been long known as the most dangerous intersection in the Chicago area. Now it's scheduled to be rebuilt. Check in now with NBC5's Mike Glover and Sky 5 to fill us in. Mike?
Well, Mark, you take Cicero Avenue, which is the busiest north and south thoroughfare on the southwest side. Then you throw in a very busy 127th Street east and west. And for fun, throw in the Tri-State Tollway in the interchange at Cicero. That is the only interchange for 6 miles in either direction. What you get is an intersection, a 3-way intersection that is consistently first or second in the most accidents in the state of Illinois. Cook County officials, ALSIP, along with the Tollway Authority, are getting together to rebuild this area. They'll start off by building the tollway ramps in the fall, especially this very busy ramp from the southbound Tri-State to southbound Cicero Avenue. That ramp work will happen in the fall, and then starting next spring, look for work on both 127th Street and Cicero. There will be big delays in the area, but it'll be well worth it when it's all done. Live over ALSIP, Mike Glover in Sky 5.
All right, Mike, thanks a lot. Well, its Wiley days are over. Up next, how the city got help to catch a cagey coyote.
Then if you omit them, you could get audited. Still ahead, an expert tells us the top items folks forget as they prepare their taxes.
Plus, does it look too realistic? If you're seeing cockroach scurrying across your TV screen, you're being faked out.
When the decade began, they were the best of friends. But could their friendship survive the 70s?
When those 4 kids were killed at Kent State, I was there.
This movement is a feminist movement.
I got a job working for the president.
Mr. Shales, what were you doing at the Watergate?
Welcome to the world of disco.
I feel like a fool.
You don't look like one.
From NBC, the musical event of a generation.
Solid.
The 70s, NBC Sunday, April 30th.
They used to say every cloud has a silver lining. Where is that silver lining when you're in debt and your credit rating has suffered? For many of Champion's customers, Clean Slate did more than just wipe out their bills and save them hundreds of dollars a month. It helped to make them stronger than they ever were before. If you're a homeowner in debt, find out how you could turn a difficult situation into a positive new beginning. Call 1-800-CHAMPION today. Doesn't everyone deserve a second chance? When your bank says no, Champion says yes.
Huge. It's Wix Furniture's big 4-day super sale. It starts tomorrow. The prices are the greatest. I am the greatest.
Take command of the road with Hanguk. Ground control. Hanguk Tires.
On the next Access Hollywood, are there children in George Clooney's near future? Plus, why Leo's interview with the president is igniting a firestorm at ABC News. All that and the latest breaking entertainment news next Access Hollywood.
Tonight at 6:30 on NBC5 Chicago.
Federal judges approved the settlement between the Mount Prospect Police Department and some officers who accused the village of racial profiling, but now without a stern warning. The judge calling racial profiling, quote, a deadly cancer on our justice system. Last month, the village agreed to pay $900,000 to settle all 3 cases. Separately, village officials also voluntarily announced a program to track traffic stops and eliminate ticket quotas.
He cleaned up the nation's Justice Department and restored confidence in government and the rule of law. Memorial service held for Edward Levi today at University of Chicago's Rockefeller Chapel. Perhaps a fitting location tribute to a man who went from serving the university as its president to serving in the Ford administration as the 71st U.S. Attorney General. Levi established the Justice Department's Public Integrity Section to fight public corruption and the Office of Professional Responsibility that set up an ethics code for government lawyers.
A cagey coyote who has made its home on Chicago's lakefront for the past year is headed for a new home. The animal was trapped on Wednesday morning near the Jardine Water Purification Plant next to Navy Pier, and the 2-year-old 20-pound female reportedly caught unharmed in a snare trap. She was then removed and released to a far western suburban rural area. It's believed the coyote made its way down the lakefront from the northern suburbs.
Common everyday errors could cost you an IRS audit. An expert tells us what to watch out for. That's up next. Then, why GM says every car deserves to have a dial tone.
Hi, Brad Miller in the Weather Center. It certainly doesn't look like we're expecting some wet snow. We are. I've got that in the forecast coming up.
Oh, joy. Plus, Cubs' short season already feeling long.
You know, this is a beautiful lawn. Don't believe me? Here, I'll show you. Looks easy, right? And it can be. All you have to do is pick up the phone and call the professionals at True Green Chem Lawn. We'll conduct a 14-point analysis of your lawn absolutely free. Call us today so we can help you uncover your lawn's hidden beauty.
Get an early start on a beautiful lawn with a free lawn analysis. Call 1-800-TRUE-GREEN today. Operators are standing by. Call now.
Score!
The perfect spring looks. Amazing brand names. And you got it for up to 60% less at Marshall's. what a feeling. Marshalls, brand names for less. Every day.
Spruce up for spring with savings from Menard. Brighten your walls with Dutch Boy DuraClean paint. Satin dries to a beautiful low sheen finish that's warranted for 20 years. On sale, $14.79 a gallon after $2 rebate. Pick up big savings on Rubbermaid products. A hip hugger laundry basket is on sale $3.99. An 18-gallon tote with lid is $5.99. Get organized with savings from Menard.
Save big money at Menards.
The store didn't recommend stain-resistant carpeting.
Call Empire. We're carpet specialists. We do the job right. And now you'll save 50% with no payments till April 2001.
It's brand new and it's totally redesigned from the ground up. Hi, I'm Erwin Weil of Weil Cadillac in Libertyville, and I've got all the new 2000 Cadillacs in stock, including the new 2000 Sedan DeVille, and I'm making deals. I even have 99s at a fraction of new car prices, like a 99 Cadillac program car for just $22,800. That's $22,800 for a 99 Cadillac. Get your next Cadillac for me, and I'll make it worth your while at Weil Olds and Weil Cadillac in Libertyville.
It's a beautiful place in the country.
So you say you're doing your own income taxes. You've double-checked the figures, deducted all you think you could, right? Well, it's the little things, the common errors that may lose you some money or perhaps even get you audited.
Joining us today with the top items that folks forget as they prepare their taxes is Mr. Jesse Brown. He's a personal investment advisor. So you've got a list for us. Get your pencils out. Kind of run us through what are the common things we forget that could help us or hurt us.
Well, Marion, the very first thing most people forget is to take out an IRA. An IRA is an individual retirement account where you can put in as much as $2,000 each year. Now, that $2,000 can be put on line 15 of your tax form. And guess what? That's on page 1. That means you can reduce your adjusted gross income. And Mark, that's what it's all about.
Right.
Your adjusted gross income. The lower your adjusted gross income is, the less taxes you have to pay.
Number 2.
Well, bad math. Bad math is probably the number one.
Really?
Yes, people just don't add properly. And when they don't add properly, guess what? The IRS says,
You're kidding.
let's take a look at this.
That raises a flag for
that?
them?
That raises a flag almost immediately. The second thing that people tend to forget is interest and dividends. You know, you have a money market account at the bank. You get a little 3%, 4% interest as the year goes on. You don't think much about it. You don't even report it on your Schedule B of your tax form. Aha, but the bank reports it to the IRS.
You get in trouble.
So you get in trouble.
In the back door.
You have to be sure to put in your interest and dividends.
Now, what about getting married? What's that got to do with that?
Well, let me tell you something. If you're going to get married, be sure and get married in time. Get married
in time.
In time. You see, there's a marriage penalty. If you don't get married in time before December 31st, then you have to file either single or married filing separately. And guess what? 2 people married filing separately can end up paying a lot more taxes than if they would file married.
So not only do you have to find a church, find a reception, now you got to do it. You time
now
it right.
You got to think about your taxes.
Well,
It'll pay off.
You know, we're right here in April. What's that? Springtime, spring cleaning, but wrong time to give away things to Salvation Army.
Best time is the end of the year.
Best time is in December at the end of the year because you can take those deductions right off your Schedule C. Those kinds of things will make a tremendous difference as you go about saving and investing and getting involved in doing your taxes.
And quick answer here, is it better to have a tax preparer or to try to do it yourself?
Well, the old saying that I use is even Jesus had 12 friends. I think it's better to have someone to double check what you're doing because too often bad math, forgetting to take certain deductions.
Simple mistakes.
Simple mistakes.
Somebody look over your shoulder.
Sure.
Well, you know, another very quick example is medical expenses. You know, if you will bunch all of your medical expenses together, then guess what? You can deduct them off your Schedule C. But sometimes you forget that even your trip to the doctor can be deducted as well as your medical expenses itself.
We thank you, Jesse Brown. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Notes, guys.
All right.
Thanks.
Very good.
Sure.
The phone is now going to be built a built-in option. In General Motors cars and trucks, the cellular service being provided by Bell Atlantic and GTE, I should say, will be part of the GM OnStar system. It'll be a voice-controlled system, so drivers can keep their eyes on the road. Customers will push a button on the dash, then say dial and the phone number. GM says the cost of the service will be comparable to other national plans. The option will be available by the end of the year.
It's a roach that looks all too real in a television commercial.
Hi there. Got bugs? Well, once they get into your house.
I think we've all seen this one, an Orkin ad featuring the roach scurrying across the screen. The special effects are so believable. Lots of people thought they really did have a bug on their TV set. One woman, they did. I did when I first saw it. One woman threw a motorcycle helmet at the TV and now is asking Orkin to pay for a new one. But guess what? They're saying no. No. I don't think so.
Hang on. I missed it.
It's pretty realistic.
That's a scorpion, Mark.
I'll tell you what, your forecast is like a cockroach.
Yeah, it is. It is. I'd like to lift my heel and stomp it. Here's what's happening in Chicago right now. Nothing. It's just a very quiet afternoon and exceptional temperatures. Take a look at one of our weather tracker sites. We'll give you an idea what's happening in Joliet. 62 degrees there. Southwest wind at 6 miles per hour. Things will change. Here's a look at what to expect. We have a winter storm watch northwest of Chicago. Up in Wisconsin, we could see in excess of 6 inches of snow, wet snow. Tomorrow night, 1 to 3 in the city. Lesser amounts to the south, greater amounts north and west. 3 to 6 inches out northwest, out toward Rockford and further north toward Wisconsin. We could see even more than that, 6 inches. Current temperatures, 61, 63 in Midway. Take a look out to the west, and it's still warm. But you see a little hint of some cool air out in the northern plains. There'll be a little buckle in the jet stream that'll kick a storm out of the Rockies. You can already begin to see a little bit of the activity occurring across the Dakotas. That will work its way toward Chicago. This is the surface map. What we can expect for tomorrow about this time. There's a warm front to our south. We're going to stay on the cold side of this weather system. That'll throw some moisture toward us. This will be rain as it begins, but as we get into the back side of the system, as this moves off to the north and east, we'll begin to see some of that rain changing over to snow tomorrow night. And the computer guidance is kicking out perhaps that 1 to 3 inch range around Chicago. Cloudcast, our computer